With me today here I have one of my colleagues, Francis Richt. So let's speak a little bit more with Francis. Hi Francis, how are you?
I'm good, Claes.
Good. Before we start, please, what are you doing at Sandvik Coromant? What's your job?
Yeah, well, I'm heading up the digital machining business function here at Sandvik Coromant, where we manage CoroPlus, our commercial offer, digital commercial offer.
And today we're going to talk about the connected workshop.
Yes.
And we're going to explain, or actually you are going to explain what it means and how to start and so on.
Yes, yes. And you know, it all begins really with running a production unit successfully. You know, it all connects back to keeping track of your overall efficiency rates in production. You know, machine stoppages, what are they? And what do I do to get up that efficiency rate and keeping track of costs and so forth?
I really hate when the machine stops.
Yes.
I mean, that is so bad.
It is, it is. You know, and going back, you know, about a year ago, I visited a number of customers in North America, and they explained to me, you know, their challenges. And they all had one thing in common. And they were all tier 1 and tier 2 suppliers to larger OEMs within various industries like automotive and aerospace. And you know, I spoke to one of the production managers at one of these companies in a bit more in detail, and it was really interesting to see, you know, and he explained the challenges he was facing, you know, understanding the overall efficiency rates, the throughput time for work orders, meaning that they deliver in time to their customers, but also, you know, visualizing the workshop. You know, he said, you know, I got about 80 machines, and it's really difficult, you know, to get an overall view. Some machines were, you know, shining green lights, which was perfect. Yep. Something we've talked about for decades, right? The green light machining. Some were amber, and some were red. And you know, red is not always a problem, but the problem he had was that he didn't know the reason why that he had those machine stoppages. And he had to talk to, you know, in order to get that information, he had to walk around, talk to engineers, operators, and really dig down into those data points of what the reason was.
And those red lights are actually one of the reasons why we at Sandvik Coromant, in our 24 production units, connected the machines. I mean, we started that many years ago.
Exactly.
I mean, you don't want that red light.
You don't.
No.
You don't. That's definitely a problem. And it, you know, as he also explained, you know, those red lights minimizes throughput. It affects their economy. You know, it really throughput and the delivery time of the components again is affected. So it puts their company in danger. You know.
And I know that. When we talk about digitalization, we always talk about KPIs and things like that. And I think actually you prepared a slide.
Yes, exactly.
So maybe you can explain a little bit more about the different KPIs and the metrics.
Yeah, they're just an example of some of the KPIs that a production unit needs to keep track of. You know, and it's about cost, it's about quality, lead times and so forth, right? And you know, if you don't manage those KPIs, you're going to have some challenges making sure your company is efficient. So, but I mean, other than, you know, these KPIs, that cost and quality and so forth, it's all about also the challenges in the industry, looking at finding skilled people in order to be efficient, all the way from the beginning of setting up the process to executing the process in the machine shop.
And we actually have a slide on that as well.
Yes, exactly.
So, I mean, we're talking 4 main challenges.
Yeah, well, we've picked out a few of the most common ones that we've found from the dialogue with our customers that is a true pain point for them. You know, we're talking about cost, we're talking about quality, as I mentioned before, and then the reducing waste. I mean, there's a lot of waste from the beginning of setting up the processes to finding data, you know, research being done by the engineers setting up the processes, all the way down to the production unit where actually people are looking for tools. Where are my assemblies? Tracking where is my material for this work order and so forth. And the skills gap, again, is a problem. Finding skilled engineers and technicians to do that job.
But I mean, what are companies then doing to remain competitive? I mean, when it comes to cost, skills,
yes,
automation, and so on.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned one word, and it's a bit of the theme of this dialogue, and it's automation. So, you know, driving automation in some key areas will help to get rid of these pain points that we have observed and the industry has.
And I know when I talked about Inside Manufacturing 3, in Inside Manufacturing 2, I mentioned automation and I said, no, it's not about robots.
Yes, no, exactly.
It's a different type of automation that we're going to talk about today.
Yes, exactly. And looking at, if we begin, at the beginning, if we start at the beginning, we've got the production preparation. Going back to some of the, these customers I talked to, again, just as an example, they get a drawing in of a new job, right? And here, engineers are observing the different features of the component, trying to decide, okay, which machine should I use for this specific material? What process, what operation, what cutting tools, cutting data, all the details, in order to come up with an estimation of time, the lead time, cycle times, and also the production cost. And any error here is going to affect their bottom line, right? And that's just the beginning. And then, you're out in the machine shop looking at automation through data collection in the actual processes there.
So, I mean, historically, when we were talking with you as a customer, we were talking about the tools in the machine shop, but now we are actually behind the scenes also.
Yes.
Yeah, so we also have digital tools.
Exactly. I mean, as a company, we've been very much working with helping and supporting our customers with the preparation, so to say, more manually and so. And now we're using digital software capabilities together with external partners as well in order to automate some of those customer jobs, yes.
So if I ought to start my digital journey and my connected workshop, how do I start? Yeah. What should I start with?
Yeah, exactly. And I think this also comes back to a theme that we've talked about for decades, and it's getting it right from the start. Investing time in the beginning to get the process up and running according to the best practices in the industry. And there, one way we are working with that is by really taking and automating operation planning. So maybe we should take a look at one of the coming software solutions within CoroPlus that really automates operation planning, takes a new dimension to the preparation in production.
And you said it's coming, so it's not really out yet.
No, exactly. We have a beta version out now, and it will be released as a final solution later this year.
And if I would be a customer then, is it available all over the planet, or do we roll it out?
It's going to be rolled out in region by region, so to say, country by country, gradually out and finally globally.
And before you run the demo, is it something I buy or do I subscribe to this service?
Well, I mean, cost and return on investment is always an interesting theme, right? And with these majority of our softwares that within CoroPlus are web-based, cloud-based solutions. Yeah. And there also we find kind of a low threshold of getting in touch with these solutions. So it's all about subscriptions.
And when you say cloud-based,
yes,
is my data safe?
Yes, it is. And we'll actually get back to this.
Okay, good.
I think a bit later on when I show the demo as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So then
we'll take you through the demo.
Let's do a demo.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Okay, Claes, so let's take a look at CoroPlus Machining Guide and what it does.
Great.
This is, again, the beta version. So there's a few things which we're still working on before the commercial release later this year.
Just so I get it right, you are doing this now live from the cloud?
This is a cloud-based version, connected. So a few of the features, takes time. It's downloading data.
Okay.
But we'll start by again, generating an automated operation plan. So we'll import a 3D model. And now it's downloading the 3D model. And the operation plan is kind of starting to work. It's analyzing the different features of the component, tracking, what type of angles and
shapes
holes,
and pockets,
dimensions, and so forth are in. So this takes a minute or so. And as we'll progress here, now, as you can see, you can look at the different angles and then also adding whatever raw stock I have.
Okay.
It's quite fancy because I can either now choose, I got, a few millimeters of raw stock, and I can also import a 3D model of the raw stock material, if it's a
Okay.
casting or forging. Right?
Okay, fantastic.
Right, so we click create, and now what you have seen is we're now looking at 32 faces of this component,
Okay.
and there's 4 holes on this component as well. So now it's identified the different steps, and I can open up and click at and see that I've got everything identified according to the plan. What I also can do then, from my machine shop, I can look at what machine do I want to test this component on.
That's
So
great.
virtually now, I can already select different machines and get an idea of the operation plans and the processes. I can also go in from our library of about 22,000 different materials that I can pick and choose from,
Wow.
industry standard.
Okay.
And I can also utilize the Sandvik Coromant library of machines, tools, but I can also import my own library of machines and
Okay,
tools.
that I have in my
Exactly.
workshop.
So whatever you have locally,
Okay.
they don't all have to be Sandvik Coromant
Okay.
neither. So it's more agnostic,
Okay.
which is great. Also then, so after this has been done, I'm happy with that. I look at some of the features here. I want to do a finishing application operation as well at the end. And I can also adjust some of the chip-to-chip time and some of the fixturing time as well. So I can not only get the process and operation plan for the machining, but I can also get an understanding of the non-cutting time parameters, which is really important to get an overview of the operation plan itself. So here now we're clicking on starting the planner. This again, as you say, this is a cloud-based solution.
Yep.
Again, it's a beta version out there. So this takes a bit of time. So what we'll do is we will just jump into one that has been done before on this component.
And while you're jumping around, just a
Sure,
might be a silly question, but
no problem.
cloud-based,
Yes.
is that really safe?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And again, we'll come back to that topic a little bit more with one of our coming partners, but we have ensured that the data uploaded here and utilized is, first of all, it's not of any risk of contamination because of the data security principles we have in the company, and again, the partners we have securing that data.
That's great.
Yeah. So again, coming back to the demo, now you can see on the left-hand side here, the various operation plans, selected tools for this job, and you can click on, as an example, on a tool, and it visualizes what feature on the component we're machining, what tool has been selected in detail. I can also click on that tool, and I will be automatically transferred over to the tool area on the web as well. So I can see exactly what the tool is, add it to my cart as well for later purchases. And then I can, quite interesting, if I'm sitting there on an experience from the last job, I can customize this plan manually,
Okay.
go in and switch, okay, I want to do this a little bit different and so forth, depending on what my machine shop looks
If I
like.
come up with different timings and maybe utilize little different tools,
Exactly.
I can put that
You
in.
can always go in and adjust the cutting time, speed parameters, feed parameters, and so forth. And then what I do at the end of it, basically, I can print out and save a documentation of the operation plan at hand when I have selected, because I will also be given some different operation plans. I can select 1, 2, or sometimes 3 different operation plans with different machining strategies. So when I'm happy with the one I picked here, I will get information about the machining time for the overall component.
Yep.
And populating machining cost and so forth, I will also get what it would cost to manufacture this. So this is a great asset for minimizing all that preparation that engineers and technicians are spending their time on, assessing how long it's going to take, what's it going to cost, and what operations, what tools and cutting data should I use for quoting new jobs, or when I'm sitting there doing the programming in my CAM software. This is a great help.
So it's really a time saver.
It is. I mean, it's unique on the market, and it really takes another step at automation.
And when you say print everything, of course you can save it as a PDF.
Of course.
In our production, we're paperless. I mean,
yeah, of course. So you're saving this. You can send it to maybe your customer.
Okay.
This is how we're looking at the job at hand. This is the cost. This is how long it's going to take, depending on quantity of components. And again, I can use this for input to the CAM programming step, which usually comes after this.
This sounds absolutely fantastic. Okay. And I mean, it is a beta version, obviously. Yes. But if I would be interested in getting on board,
yep.
How can I do it?
Yeah, I mean, the best thing is just visit sandvikcoromont.com.
Yeah.
And you can look for our digital solutions there and machining guide and sign up for a beta version right now. Test it out, see what you think, and also give us feedback.
Yeah.
And then when we're releasing it, which will be decided quite soon, it will be there for signing up for a subscription.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm. It sounds really, really helpful. And it's all about connecting not only the machines, but everything behind the scenes as well.
Exactly. So, I mean, this really takes an account to support the preparation, ensure quality before you're actually machining the component in real life.
Great, Frances. So, how do we get this closer to the users?
Yeah, I mean, one really important part is, of course, integration of data, right? I mean, what the demo showed is really how we are integrating data from, into our software. With the years of experience of cutting, machining components in various materials and really emphasizing quality and cost and productivity, we're seeing that now integrated in our CoroPlus offers to automate. The other way of automating, of course, as well, is integrating our data and knowledge into partner solutions to be able to get this accessible for many, many more users more efficiently without having to step in and out of different software solutions. So let's hand it over to Autodesk, one of our key partners.
Most design and manufacturing companies are struggling with tools that don't work together. The problem happens as each vendor is trying to solve one problem in a long chain of events and can't connect with others' data. That is, until now. Companies can manage, connect, and push 3D design data to the cloud, letting all the teams see the latest version and collaborate on next steps. There was a time where manufacturing meant dirty and hard-working labor. Today, even mom and pop shops have access to the latest high-tech equipment. With Fusion 360, we make it easier to program these complex machines and adding automation by letting the machine check and validate its own work. We are connecting manufacturing in ways never seen before. As our world is getting more connected, the tools we are using every day will be smarter. Bringing electronics into the design tool is new. Having it all in one place will help the entire design team. When the part design changes, your electronics also need to reflect those changes. There is a theme. Working in a connected environment has all the benefits versus a disconnected work process. But what about next week, next month, or next year? We are well into utilizing cloud computing today. We are already automating the design process. It is not difficult to have a computer design a futuristic flux capacitor, but at Autodesk, we are taking it one step further. Combining cloud computing and our leading knowledge of manufacturing with generative design, we are letting the cloud explore designs that manufacturing companies can make today, next week, and into the future. The value of a connected workflow has to be obvious. As companies are getting ready to make significant investment in upgrading, they will be looking for a solution that can take them through the design and manufacturing cycle in one continuous flow.
Okay, it's getting more and more clear to me what this is all about, the connected workshop. It's about seamless integration, it's about tools, it's about data, it's about getting all the bits and pieces together.
Exactly. Yeah.
Understanding more than just making chips.
Yes, exactly. So another way of doing it, should I say, this was the preparation part, and now we're getting closer into the machining.
Yes.
And there as well, data from the source is key to have. If you have the data at your fingertips, it's much easier to make decisions, to start automating some of the machining sequences as well. And here we are picking up data from the cutting tools, sensors embedded in the cutting tools.
Directly in the machine?
Yes, exactly. And then process monitoring and process control is another way of emphasizing, understanding what's really happening from chip forming. If you're getting chip hammering problems, tool wear indications, vibrations, surface quality, and all that.
What about one thing? We have some issues sometimes with crashes.
Yes. Exactly.
Do we have a crash detection?
We do. We have an offer, looking at collision detection. And this is really valuable when you're setting up different jobs again, right?
Yes.
If you program something incorrectly, instead of damaging the machine or component or tool, this will stop the machine within milliseconds.
So we're coming back again then to the green light machining.
Exactly.
Avoiding the red light.
Exactly. And servicing and maintenance and these things, right? The other one is Tool Guard, which again looks into how to indicate where optimized tool usage and so forth.
And I think also actually I saw when I played around with one of those screens, there is a machine health inspector.
Exactly. This is a solution where we're again looking at service and maintenance intervals. But maybe getting back a little bit to the sensor embedded cutting tools. So here we are embedding, again, sensors in the cutting tools and integrating these solutions into the machine tools. So here again, we're working with machine tool partners in order to drive automation together. Okay, so let's hand it over to Matthias.
Welcome to a demonstration of Silentools Plus machine integrated functionality. We will demonstrate setting and reacting on load limits using the CoroPlus connected machine interface. The system can automatically connect to the tool when it is selected for use and disconnect when it is finished. With Silentools Plus Machine Integrated, you have the possibility to specify load, vibration and temperature limits. The limits can be set and updated anytime, either manually or pre-programmed in the NC code. This gives you the possibility to easily set specific limits for different components and stages in the machining process. For this demonstration, the load is set from the NC code. The limit on the load tile is updated and the machine event log records a new entry to reflect the event. The Silentools Plus software will actively monitor the load while machining. If the load exceeds the specified limit, it immediately sends a load outside limit message to the machine. The corresponding reaction by the machine is fully customizable. Here, it's programmed to stop the process and quickly retract. In this last part of the demonstration, you can see the sequence of steps in real time. The machine response is customized to just retract a short distance and stop the process.
That was impressive from Trondheim, Norway. And cutting tools and machining tools working autonomously, that's really, really impressive.
It is. Yeah.
And coming back to where we all started our discussion a while ago, there are lots of things that actually can be done. Connecting things.
Exactly.
Working behind the scenes with automation.
Yes, exactly. So maybe we should go, as you said, go back to the beginning of where we started this discussion and some of the examples from our customers that I visited a year ago, and the pain points there. So it's really important to again collect data from the machine tool, from again the cutting tools that we saw here, process monitoring, to build up as real picture as possible of the machining processes, understanding your downtime, overall efficiency rates, cycle times, but also if I had any problems like broken tools, tool wear, that red light again, what and why does it happen?
Is there a risk that I actually can collect too much data?
I wouldn't say so. Again, cloud-based solution makes sure that we're collecting data, we're managing that in order to take decisions, helping operators understand what's happening, the technicians, the engineers, even the service technicians of what has happened and why. But again, coming back to data storage and security.
And the cloud.
And the cloud, exactly. That needs to be safe.
Yeah.
And for that reason, we're working very close to our partner Microsoft in order to ensure data storage, data security, and much more functionality.
And what a coincidence that you mentioned Microsoft, because I'm actually going to head back to the studio. But before doing that, thank you very much, Francis.
Thank you, Claes.
You have really, really opened my eyes what this connectivity and the automation is all about. So thanks a lot.
Thank you,
and
Claes.
I'll head back to the studio.
Sure.